Okay. No echo. Sometimes I run into an echo because I don't know, my experience with Zoom is different every time. Hi.
Hi. Sorry, I'm late. You're not late. 2 minutes is totally fine. You're doing better than me on a normal day.
Oh, that's nice.
We did do donuts today, so we have some donuts over here by the fridge on the counter. If anybody would like one now or on your way out or whenever. So I'm gonna,
Did you pick these out?
no, I'm not thoughtful like
You should
that.
say yes. Well, I said I'm gonna go to parlor, and Rachel was like, don't, we'll go get donuts. I'm like,
No, I think she went.
guys, she got the good ones, like not the bad ones.
No, my love language is like, I suck at the gift giving and the gift receiving. I can care less about gift receiving. So I'm not thoughtful like that.
I love gift giving, but I don't necessarily care about receiving.
Oh, I don't mind giving gifts. I just never think, you know, unless it's an occasion.
It's my jam.
So, probably something I could do better on.
Landon has really important things for us to talk about this morning. Donuts? Like which donut you're gonna pick. First and
Crucial.
foremost. Sorry.
All right. So I see at least one face I haven't met before, so I'll introduce myself. I am Landon Mabe, the MCA of the Market Center, which is essentially the majority of what I do is all the financials, including commission checks, budgeting, all the things related to money, and then day-to-day operations within the building, so, and the team. So that's in a snippet of what I do on a daily basis, weekly basis. Been here since 2020, so almost about to hit 5 years with the company. Been a great journey, so glad to do many more. So I have an update for y'all. I think a lot of you have heard this message, and you're probably gonna hear it 3 more times between now and next week, because it's super important. I know we spoke at team meeting about it, and then I spoke earlier in the week in group coaching about it. I've sent an email about it. I've sent a text about it. So what is happening, or it's great, it's gonna be great in the long run for sure, is we're getting an update in our system on how we pay people. So we have an old system that's been in place since like 2000. It's been here since before, it's been with KW and KWRI since before this building or this brokerage was open. So that's how long it's been there and how old it is. And essentially what we've always had to do is basically do data entry 3 separate times. So there's a system called Winmore that's getting deprivated or grandfathered or whatever you want to call it. And we would have to enter accounting information into Winmore, which is like their cloud-based service through KWRI. And then we would have to take that information and put it into our local accounting system called Account Edge. So that's entering it twice. And then when we would go to pay the agent direct deposit, we'd have to log into our banking app and then punch in the direct deposit info for every single person we're paying. So essentially it was doing the same data entry 3 times. So on our end, it's gonna be way more efficient. Now there will be a month, probably 2 months before, because I've been doing this for almost 5 years. I'm so used to it, like it's just second nature to me to do it now, that there probably will be some learning curve, or there definitely will be a learning curve the first couple months. So bear with us on that. But in the long run, once I get a great system built, it's gonna be way more efficient on our side. Before I tell you the next bit, just wanna let you know, no one's gonna be delayed on being paid, because there is like what they're calling a blackout period, but it's not really a blackout period for being paid or anything. So what's gonna change here in the next weekish time frame is the offers and commissions tab. There is this is where we're talking about the blackout period where offers and commissions cannot be submitted between September 5th and September 9th. To you and on your end, what you're gonna experience is nothing different. It's gonna look like you filled it out, submitted it, completed it, but it's gonna go into the black hole because our old system is gone. and then it's gonna be gone on September 5th, so it won't be pulled into our old system Winmore. And the new system will not go live till September 10th. So there's no new system to capture it either. So if you do happen to submit offers and commissions during that time, it's not the end of the world. You're gonna be able to, you'll just have to do the work, do it again on September 10th when it goes live for the new system. And it will delay you or your agent on getting paid. So what we're recommending is get all of your offers and commissions in by September 4th. Before then would be even great if you already have it under contract. Because we can pull it into our old system by September 4th, because that's the last day it's gonna be live. And if it's in the old system, KWRI during that 5-day period is importing everything from the old system to the new system, which is a lot of data. That's why it takes them 5 days to bring it live. So if you got it submitted by September 4th, you're in the clear, you'll get paid. If you have no closings between the 5th and the 9th, it's really isn't a big deal at all. So yeah, that's pretty much our update. It's y'all are gonna see some changes too. So if you've ever done this offers and commissions tab, and you have to click like terms, it goes to the next page, click agent details, go to the next page, click, the pros and cons of the offer, go to the next page, and then you finally get to the last page and you get to edit any deductions or whatever you may have. They are changing that to 1 page.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yes, so it's gonna look a little different for you all on your end, but all the feedback from because they've been rolling this out to market centers since January. So in January, there was 8 market centers and there's almost 900 in North America, most of those being in the United States. And so in January, they did 8, February, they did like 15, and then they did like 100. So they've been rolling out slowly in case if they run into any hiccups, it's only affecting a very small few, of market centers. And now they're in the very last stage, so they're rolling it out to like 300 market centers in September. Yes? No? Okay.
No, my belly screams.
I walked in this morning and he was eating his lunch for breakfast. So
Hey, sometimes that's how it goes. Anywho, so so just to recap, essentially, I said a lot. Submit all your offers and commissions by September 4th. Not the end of the world if you don't. It's just gonna delay. If you have a 5th through 9th closing, it's gonna delay the agent getting paid till the 10th. Because we won't be able to create a DA.
So the 5th through the 9th, just do nothing if something goes, and then on the
Offers and
10th, do
commissions,
it all.
offers and commissions wise,
She said it, don't worry.
this does not affect anything else. You can create opportunities. You can submit your documents to compliance. You can add contacts. You can do literally anything else. Just not the offers and commissions tab during this time. So operate as normal with everything else. So thoughts, questions, ideas, concerns?
Clear as mud, I think.
Yeah. Okay, what else? Do you have anything else that's compliance, monies, budget?
Megan
Why you
does.
have me?
I love that the final walkthrough form was moved to the closing tab.
You can thank Nathan Blanton for that. He came to me and said, because he's a very like task minded individual, and he's like, I hate whenever I get a return in the under contract section and I go and look and it's only the final clock through, which I'm not gonna get most of the time until closing date. And I said, I got you. So we moved it to,
We can do that. We can be like, we hate this. Can you fix it?
if it makes sense, if it makes sense to me. Jim, mainly Jim and the compliance team, and I'm in those meetings too, and we do like a meeting every 2 months on what documents are required. So yeah, you can always.
You should
I
be
can always
careful of
give
what
it
you
to
tell
them.
us we can do, because
Well,
otherwise
no,
we're just dumb.
Jim will say yes or no.
And we're like, Jim will always say yes to me.
Anywho, so yeah, that was Nathan Blanton's suggestion. I said, makes sense in my mind. And so then we changed it like a month ago or something. So, yeah. So now when it gets returned, it'll be in the closed section, which makes sense.
Better for you.
It's great.
Yeah, good, good. I'm glad.
Did you hear him say, like when we're doing offers and commissions, you have to click through like pros and cons and all of that crap? It's now gonna be all on one page. So we don't have to click through all the things.
And I'm pretty sure that'll be live for you on September 10th as well. I think some point in September, but I think on September 10th, that's going live as well. Oh, one other thing that's kind of affects you all, kind of doesn't, is how we always have a transmittal, and it usually takes like the first 3 days of each month, and we're not able to pay anyone. because we're closing out all of our books and the way we profit share back to our agents. We have to spend that time figuring profit share. It may be a month or two of me doing transmittal before I fully get it down from my understanding, instead of it taking 3 days, it's taking MCAs about a half a day. So like 3 to 4 hours to get transmittal done in the new system.
Nice.
So after I get everything, do it a couple times, the first couple months, September and October, hopefully by November, I'll have it down to that half a day as well. I may the first day, who knows, we'll see. So then we would only be delayed 1 day, the first business day of every month on paying agents instead of the first 3 business days. So that's also something that's, I wouldn't say it's been a pain point. Usually no one gives much pushback, but sometimes agents will forget and they'll send a text and be like, hey, am I getting paid today? And I'm like, I'm so sorry, we're in the dead period. And so that dead period should be 1 day instead of 3 days. So anywho, anything else? Doesn't have to be related to the changes. Why you got me?
What would you normally bother Landon about?
Yeah.
When we're submitting our offers and commissions, like
Yes.
usually for transaction fee, I put that as like bonus under the
Yeah.
agent. Is that gonna change? Like
I
where,
don't think
a
so.
different place where I should put that?
So from my understanding, it's gonna be in the same place. You'll still hit the plus sign and then it'll still be bonus deduction. And I think they still call it a bonus
Yeah.
instead
Okay,
of a transaction fee.
okay.
Yeah, we haven't seen the new system live. They are taking us, they're doing the best. So I went through training last week and it was 3-hour calls every single day for 5 days. So it's 15 hour or whatever that is. Yeah, 15 hours of training, last week, and it was all Zoom and it was a demo version. So I'll really for me, is a very high level overview and felt like I walked away with just a little bit more than what I started with, even though I was in the classes for 15 hours. When I get in there on the 10th, like I'll figure it out, one of those type of things, so.
But did your internet work for all 15 hours?
It did, but I am also hardwired into the wall.
I'm impressed.
So I don't have Wi-Fi issues like we've been experiencing the last couple weeks, so. Yeah, KWRI, whatever computer you have the accounting system on, they won't let you, they make you hardwire in.
Got it.
Yeah, it's one of their weird quirks.
That's fun.
Yeah. Yep, good question. So from what I understand, that's gonna be still bonus fee under the plus sign. So it is gonna look slightly different, but if you've done, I mean, it's not gonna be much different.
Yeah.
More efficient from what I understand. So, yeah, good question.
Anything else?
Yeah, okay. Well, if you think of anything, I think most of you are pretty good about texting or emailing me, so just continue to do that if you think of anything. So, yeah.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Are you guys ready? Okay. Clearly, this doesn't line up, but here's what I did. I popped all of this of everything I learned in the ChatGPT and told it to break it down into columns. And in ChatGPT, it looked really great, but I didn't have enough time to edit this. So just know that it doesn't all line up, but works out the same. So the first page would be a handful of at Mega Camp. Melinda and myself, Sam, Monica Reynolds and myself ran the ops mastermind at Mega Camp. And one of the most consistent takeaways that the majority of the admin in there had was AI and how they're leveraging AI in their business to create videos, to write different things. And how many people in here use ChatGPT or have used it? Great. What we learned is we've all been using it wrong. So my goal today is to bring you what we learned and how to actually use it better so that you can get better results. So before we dive into that, because I know we have a new face, do you guys care to go around the room, say who you are, what team you're on, and what you do? And I'll start with you, Abby.
I'm Abby. Hi, I am Paulina Nybar's admin, so just the two of us. And I do
All the things.
all the things, yeah, like TC, admin stuff, ops stuff.
Yep. You came from Title World, right?
Mhm,
So
Yes.
she's a great resource if you have title questions,
mhm.
even if you don't want to answer them.
Listen, I'll always answer them. I love sounding right, so.
Yes, come with your questions.
Yeah.
Marie, I was admin for Maria and Amy for a year and a half-ish. something like that, just general admin, mostly marketing, I would say.
You said for who?
Amy, Hunsaker Williams and Maria Galgano.
And you're just with Maria now, right?
Yes, but it's actually my last day, so I'm technically here for moral
Where are
support.
you going?
Subbing, teaching. I'm sorry.
Well, that's an awkward pause. I'm just kidding. All right, Peyton.
My name's Peyton. I am an admin for Trey Watson with the home team. There's 3 of us. I do TC, admin stuff, marketing, a lot of everything. And I organize Trey's life, so that's a job in
Which is a
itself.
full-time
yeah.
job.
I'm Madison, I'm with the Full Home Group, and I really just do a little bit of everything for admin stuff, so nothing specific.
So Madison is Jennifer Grove's daughter. If you've ever heard of Jennifer, Jennifer's been in business for what, 30 years? I don't know. How long has she been in real estate?
She's old. She's, let's see, I think she's pushing 20 years.
So Jennifer has ran her own team for a very long time. She does a lot of commercial business, a lot of stuff in Seymour, Marshfield. And then they have joined Holt Homes Group as well. So Jennifer still has her team within Holt Homes Group. I know a lot of people ask us this all the time. So if any of your agents ask you what Jennifer and Madison are doing, yes, they're with our team. And Jennifer is still running her team within our team. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic that we're loving.
I'm Paige, I'm also with Holt Homes Group, and I do all of their listing stuff, so, and a little bit of marketing.
She's also my spawn. She's my child. She is my child.
I'm Megan, I TC for Holt Homes Group, also do some marketing, for Community Club. My name's Nicole Edwards. I am not actually a TC, I'm actually an agent.
Love it.
My husband and Lala Baker, or my husband's name is Ethan Edwards, and Lala Baker and Shane Cloud have formed a group called Viridian Group. We actually just got it formed like one day last week. I do not practice in like the, the normal sense, but I do have my license. I am just kind of here to help them get this all going and off the ground. We do have a TC that's going to be joining us, I think about around mid-September. But I think this class is awesome and that you guys offer it. And so that is why I am here, just to kind of absorb everything that I can, helping these guys get started. And I probably will fill in until we get our person over here, but so yeah, that's I'm here.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
We're glad to have
super
you.
excited to be here. We're really excited to be with KW.
That's great. Well, you guys do you have an office in the market center?
We
Or-
do. We have
Okay.
an office upstairs. We're probably already outgrowing it before we even have furniture in.
We all are.
So we are on the list, I guess, to get a larger office, because we already have an ISA and an admin that's coming over to help us out,
Beautiful.
and a marketing person, so.
There's also the, we have MREO, it's like Millionaire Real Estate Ops on Fridays at 11.
Okay,
And some agents do come to that, just like to.
and that's every Friday?
Every Friday. Basically what it is it's a class that Monica Reynolds and I teach, and we created a playbook that it weighs 8 pounds. It's huge.
I think we have it.
And it's
Yeah.
so it's generally like a paid class that's $1,000. And what we did is we brought it to our market center. And after we got done, we all took our books, and Rachel was amazing and created this class every Friday where we tackle a chapter every Friday, break it down. We give homework and say, make sure you're actually implementing what we're talking about. And so that's also super valuable. If you're looking at systems, processes, building, rip it out of the playbook and plug it into your business.
Sure, and what time is that? You said
11.
11 on
11:30.
Fridays down here.
Yep. Awesome. All right, ready?
I'm Cindy Matzat, and I am in the office right across from you. I'm the Director of Operations for Educators Realty Group.
Gotcha. Yeah. Mike has also been amazing helping us get it going, so.
Cool. All right, we ready to start? Okay, so page 1, these were a few, so second from the last one says Golan, that should say Goblin. Goblin tool, so if you want to write in that B, that would be awesome. But starting at the top, ChatGPT, and what I did was I said, these are the platforms that we have talked about. Define for me how we could implement these inside of our real estate business to leverage. And so I typed in these different platforms and this is what it spit out. As we go through these, the very back page, this list of 4 are ones that I've actually played with that I know more about. So that's why I created a separate page. And then the middle page, I just tried to create you guys something if you wanted to keep your notes in one place. So ChatGPT, we know we're all using it. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how we can better use it. What I learned is we actually have to train ChatGPT to talk like us, to think like us, to respond like us. And how you do that. So instead of just asking it questions of like, write this job description for me in real estate, right? If you actually take the time to go up into your settings, so the free version, what they call the things on the left-hand side are your threads. So every time you ask it a question, it puts that topic over on the left side of your ChatGPT. And so if my topic is AI, any AI question that I will ask ChatGPT, we should ask it in the thread of the topic we're in. Okay, so that would be my first advice. So if you're like, write me, what does an ISA do in real estate? And that topic is ISA. Ask all of your questions about ISA in that same thread on the left-hand side. What's the job description? What are their metrics? How should I be measuring them? Blah, 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 blah. So keep it inside of the topics and keep those running. If you have a team, one really cool thing that we learned is if you have the paid version of ChatGPT, you can create avatars inside of your team ChatGPT. And so then it would be like, in our team ChatGPT, Megan has one, Madison has one, Paige has one, I have one, Cody has one, Jenny has one. We all do different things, right? But you can actually train your avatar to respond and be like you. So in your settings, there are a handful of questions it asks you, tell us about yourself. And then it has a specific question about tonality. So what I put into mine on tonality is I am a high D on the DISC assessment profile. In my responses, I am not often known to be very direct with little empathy. People often ask me if I'm mad at them. I need my tonality to speak to all of the other personality types so that I am not so direct. So when ChatGPT spits things out for me, it's much fluffier than I would generally say them. Very short sentences broken up, right? And then you also, like, I went in and I gave it my history. I've been on this real estate team for 8 years. I started as a listing manager. Here's what that means. I'm now a director of operations. Here's what I do. This is my, like, I will be using ChatGPT to X, Y, and Z. So save that stuff in your settings. So like Megan would go into hers. I've been on the real estate for this. I handle transactions. I do marketing, da, 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 da. This is how I intend to use ChatGPT. This is how I want my tone to sound. So you create those avatars. Training to actually use it. So type in about your team. So I would give it, like in my first thread, I would say we're a real estate team of 15 people or 16 people. We, on average, close 500. We help 500 families every single year. We specialize in X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 blah. Ask me 30 questions about my business. So you're asking ChatGPT to ask you 30 questions. It gives you the questions. You need to answer the questions and re-upload them. And when you re-upload them, you can then say, like, is there anything in there you need to dive into? Or do you just need to say, ask me 20 more questions? Ask me 20 questions about the sales section of my business. Ask me 20 questions about the operations side of my business. And what happens is you are then training ChatGPT to learn about you and how you respond to those questions. It's artificially reading your tonality. It's artificially reading how it is you respond, how you type, how you use punctuation. So that is how you are training it. So before you start using it again, make sure you train it to think like you, speak like you, answer like you. And so that way, when you start playing with this, you actually will begin to get better answers. So you have a question?
I do.
Yeah.
So whenever you're training it, are you training it only on that one thread? Or are you training your ChatGPT account in general?
So if you're training it on that thread in general, my understanding is it will begin, the more you play with it, the more it will begin to think and respond like you.
Okay.
So the more you use it, the better it gets. But don't miss the section in the settings is where you really need to be specific about who you are, what you do, your tonality, what you prefer. So change your settings first and then start communicating with it. Okay.
Is that setting stuff only on the paid?
No,
version?
I have the free version. And so if you're up in your, do you have it pulled up? I
Mhm.
guess I could have used that computer. All right, so if you go personalization, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I do this.
He's like, my hiccups here.
We just went on audio. I can't. I just.
Okay, so it's actually underneath customize ChatGPT. So in the top right-hand corner, you're gonna click on your little initials or name or whatever shows up. You're gonna click there and you're gonna hit customize. And that's where you start typing in about yourself. So we'll hit.
Hurts.
Thank you, sorry.
It's like it's sleeping around the dog. I have my own bed. I literally go around them like that. My feet go by his head. That's what I do with Yeah.
Okay, any questions about that?
I do. Do you know if they offer, is it just one single platform, or do they offer different ones that are better suited for a team or an individual, or just real estate in general?
There are so many like ChatGPTs. There's Gemini. Is Gemini the Google one or is Gemini the Apple one?
I think Google.
Oh, Gemini is Google, yeah.
Okay, so there's Gemini, there's ChatGPT, like there are so many different ones. I like ChatGPT just because I'm familiar with it. It also plugs into a lot of things, so it's easy to use on your phone. It shows up the exact same way on your phone as it shows up on the website, like on the URL version of it. You can plug it into certain things, like you can zap it, you can connect it, and so it will start reading some of your things. If there were some people in that audience that were using it at a crazy high level of what they had integrated it with. And I was on a call yesterday and there was someone using Gemini instead of ChatGPT. But my understanding of it is like AI, it doesn't matter what the platform is, if you need to train it to think like you so that it operates better. So whatever you're using, I mean, you could ask ChatGPT, I am looking for an AI product similar to ChatGPT that does X, Y, and Z. What other options are available to me? And then it'll spit them out. And then what you could do is say, based off of the four results you've given me, break those down into columns with the differences. And it will break it down just like it has here, like here are the things, here are the different things. So I'll give you an example of, we played with this inside of the Mastermind and without training it, without doing anything, but we wrote a very long, specific question. And I brought that question back and I looked at it a different way. So I have a coaching client who's like, I've been the DOO for a long time. She's on a pretty big team with Vivian. And she's like, we're trying to figure out our lanes. So as we grow, I don't know if I'm like the chief operating officer, the chief of staff, the DOO, like, I don't know what my title is. And I also don't know what my rainmaker's title should be. So learning what I did, because we asked it to give us a job description for a DOO with metrics and it spit out everything we coached to. So we knew it was accurate. I put it there and I said, break down the differences in 4 columns between a COO, a COS, a DOO, and a CEO. And the differences, you could like immediately read them. It was like what they're focused on, what they're doing, what they hope to achieve. She took it to their meeting and within 10 minutes, her and her rainmaker had clear lanes, clear paths. And from there took that information, dropped it in and said, write our job descriptions with our metrics based off of these titles. What could have been an entire class that they went to, paid for, they did in 15 minutes inside of ChatGPT. So asking very specific questions with what you're hoping to gain, and the more information you give it will actually give you better results. So those are my biggest tips. So I want to stay on ChatGPT for a second. If you were looking at this in your business, where do you think, or where could you start playing with this? In marketing, in job roles, in your smart plans and ISA, like what immediately comes to your mind? Because if you're thinking it, someone else may not be, but maybe they should be. So knowing what you know now, how can you use ChatGPT to leverage your business, make your role easier? What ideas do we have?
I just had the thought of, I'm thinking of the email I send to a buyer whenever they go under contract. I need to ask ChatGPT questions that maybe a first-time home buyer would need to know, or any information I think I might be missing in my email template that I think that it thinks I should include.
I'll play you guys a video here in just a little bit too on one of these other tools that coincides with that, but that is great. Yeah.
For me, I use it a lot, especially when I'm writing marketing remarks and stuff, but I struggle like with it not sounding like me or almost being too unrealistic. So I think training it to speak like you is gonna be really helpful when writing those.
Yeah, and I think when you're asking it, the thing that I found in that too is instead of just saying, write marketing remarks for me for a 3-bedroom house with 3 beds, 2 baths, blah, blah, blah. Get really specific. It's located in a rural area. It's on 20 acres that could be used for hobby farming, blah, 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 blah. Give it really specific information so that it can take that down and actually put the information in there for you.
Have you ever tried uploading the photos of the house into ChatGPT?
Mine doesn't let me upload photos.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Because
thought that'd be
I wanted to
interesting.
one time for something else in it.
I know you can.
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't figure it
So,
out when I was.
It may be paid account though. We'll look
Yeah, I
at
think you can on the free. I did it the other day too. If you go down to the
Okay.
bottom where you're typing in where it says message, on the little paperclip thing that's to the left, there's a little thing that says upload from computer.
Okay, so it's under the paperclip. Okay.
Okay, how else? Ladies? How could you make Trey's life better or Paulina's life better? We know Paulina's a lot like Dan, but just female.
I'm thinking. I would say maybe social media stuff, but she likes doing that. So, no.
Mine's kind of opposite, because Trey does not like doing social media, so then
Okay.
there's lots
So-
of content, or like he does these, he'll do videos every so often, and he's always wondering like what are questions that people would be asking him that would be beneficial for him to answer, so maybe there's video ideas for first-time home buyers or.
One of the things we did, and that's the video I want to play you at the Mastermind, is we asked it, what are the top 10 questions sellers have right now in this market with the recent NAR settlement, la da da da, and it spit out the best 10 questions.
Oh, that's good.
And so the whole video that Monica and I did, we used one of these other AI tools in addition to make the video, and it came back really cool. How else could you use it to leverage social media?
We use it to write captions all the time.
Captions, and then I just had the idea, we do a social media calendar that we create ourselves every single month. We come up with every idea that we put on social media, all that. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna upload an example of our social media calendar and ask it to fill it out for me and then give me a weekly task list of what I need to accomplish and get scheduled every week.
And I
That way
was-
I don't have to do it
Yeah,
anymore.
I was thinking about that earlier, I think yesterday whenever we were talking about something else, because I feel like sometimes it can be either like really crazy or like we don't have anything to post or just inconsistent, so I think it would help with like what days and what times also you should be posting stuff.
Yeah, it's also nice if it could spit out a task list and then I can just look at that once a week and get it all done and out of the way, instead of like, oh crap, I haven't touched social media in 2 days, what do I need to be doing, you know?
Something I sent Megan last week is one of my friends who's using this at a pretty high level. They run a team out in Arizona. She uploads her newsletter to it every time. She uploads the newsletter and she uploads the results. And she asks ChatGPT about what they could be doing differently to increase their click rate, what content that they're not using that they should be using. So I thought that was pretty genius because she gave the example inside of the ops community. She posted what it sent back to her. And I was like, never even thought of that. Anything else?
Maria does a lot of like Spanish posts as well, so most of my job was social media, but I found that GPT translated better, because I don't speak Spanish, it translated better than Google. But to make social media, I had to use GPT a lot, almost every day. So I would connect it, I think it was the paid version, but it'll connect to Canva. And so if it was like a flyer or a static post or something, I can connect it to Canva and have it make that post for me. Because even the translation in Canva isn't great.
I love that. Do you speak Spanish?
How does
How awesome
it
is that?
make a post?
Yeah, that's
Will
really
you,
cool.
will you explain how it made the post for you?
So I think it was her account. I haven't used it in a while, but I think in the paid version, you can like connect it to other websites, and I know Canva was one of them, but there's a bunch of them. But it'll give you an option, like if you upgrade it to the paid version, you can see everything that it's connected to. But I would tell it like whatever flyer I need, what it is, all the details, how I want it to look and stuff. And it wouldn't completely make it for me, but it would link me to something that I would just maybe change the numbers on or change the wording on a little bit.
In Canva.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I did the other day is I asked it to create an org chart for me, and I said, I want a square at the top with the Rainmaker, square underneath it for the DOO, and then I need squares vertically across the page or horizontally across the page. Underneath those horizontal squares, these are the names and the roles I need to see, and it spit out the image for me. I had to go in and edit it a little bit, but it did the heavy lifting. It's interesting.
FSBO letters that we would send out, I would just link articles from the NAR website and tell it to pull facts from it. So if it was like, these people had a higher percentage of whatever. And so it basically wrote the whole thing for me, and then I could connect that to Canva and have it kind of create the design and just plug in the info.
One thing I did while I was at Mega Camp was took our 11-day cold buyer lead touch program. And I copied it all with the emails and everything. And I told it what I was wanting to see differently in it. And I wanted the results to be a higher open rate, like basically create emails that cause a higher open rate. Here's what we're currently using. What should we be using? And it spit back an entire new 11-day email campaign. Only one of the emails I had to change. But in that, what I thought was really interesting is it in like parentheses, it would tell me create and insert this document here. And so it was telling me what other content I needed to create to put in the email so that it would encourage them to click and to respond. So that was a lot of heavy lifting because we're getting ready to be in the middle of redoing all of our campaigns. So copy and paste what you have, put it in there, let it rework it for you. It was pretty cool.
I'm working on redoing like the golden letters and things like that because I've done a lot of golden letter training and they teach you how to start it off, but it doesn't necessarily give you any guidance of like how to continue it. So I'm trying to create like a series of letters that is gonna have like a high response or whatever, just so I can like continue it. Cause we do tend to, or I tend to fall off because I'm like, okay, now what? Like I've sent them this letter that says this, and then I sent them a letter that says this, so now what? Like
you
you're
know, to keep
repeating the letters to
providing
the same people,
Yep,
but
like,
just different wording each time.
yeah, and like also have how to like provide value and not just say like, hey, I have a buyer interested in your home, like how we can keep
That's exactly.
mailing to them, but create a series of
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
That's very helpful.
And that's the whole thing. If with branding, like they have to receive something from you or see your logo at least the 7 times before they're actually like, maybe I should read this or remember who you are. But if you're constantly mailing them and you're saying, I have a buyer, well, so is the other 400 agents in this market center, right? So what is your message? And I think specifically, I received someone else's golden letter the other day. And what I noticed with it is there's way too much information on it. The point of the golden letter is to be very simple with one thing that makes the client think, not all this information they need to read because then they're just gonna trash it, right? And so Madison's right in that of like, how do we get creative of like, we have a buyer for your home. Okay, now what? What message is it that you would see? What would make them not throw it away? And asking ChatGPT that. The purpose of this golden letter is to X, Y, and Z. We have not received responses. This was the first letter, upload the content. What would the next letter be? Here's what I hope to get out of this, yada, yada. You could also say, I live in Springfield, Missouri. So you could get really specific on your location and have it write it to your location of what's happening in your market. Anything else for ChatGPT? For sake of time, I'll probably run into some of these other ones.
This is probably really silly, but whenever I'm dealing with tenants or whatever, and they text me and they're like, hey, I can't do whatever, or like just make some kind of like silly excuse or whatever, I'll like type what I want to respond into ChatGPT and like take the emotion out of this, like make it be more professional, because it's just so easy to respond, you know, what that doesn't necessarily help your agents, but that can just help you get something off your plate faster.
I think it's a really good point because like a high C personality, right, it's gonna have all of the details and it's probably gonna be really lengthy. So if you say, I am a high C personality, I often provide too much information. Rewrite this to speak to all different personality types while taking out emotion and being more direct. Yeah. There was someone there the other day that was like, I put my conversation template every time I meet with my Rainmaker, I put it into ChatGPT first so that it rewrites what I want to ask my Rainmaker.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Cause she's like, I am often known to lead from emotion. She was like, I'm high emotion. I get really frustrated. I can't make sense once I start the conversation, and it spit out all of her talking points of how she was gonna stay on track. I was like, that's really smart. There was someone else in there that was like, I do it when I'm fighting with my husband, and I'm like, man, that's dedication. Can't say I'd be slowing down to type that into ChatGPT. Hold on. Okay, so Fathom is something I use on the daily that integrates with Zoom. It is actually the main Zoom tool for AI note taking. So you've probably heard of fireflies. There's not grasshopper, but something like that, some kind of bug, a different kind of bug. There's Fathom. Fathom is one of the best ones if you find yourself on a lot of trainings, if you're using Zoom. Even if you're not using Zoom, like something that we're gonna start integrating with our agent one-on-ones is running Zoom in the background just to listen, because Fathom transcribes everything. And what I've been doing on my coaching calls is I take the full transcription from Fathom, I copy and paste it into ChatGPT. It then looks at all my main points of my coaching call, assigns the client action items, and gives me 5 questions that I need to dive deeper on my next call.
Do you have to pay for that one?
Oh, it's free. And the really cool thing about it is when you log into it, so I have about 17 calls every week that are recorded in there. I can go back as far as I want to, and it saves every single recorded call. So it transcribes it for you. It also, like, if you use the app inside of Zoom, while you're having a conversation or while you're listening to a training, there's like buttons there. You can click like highlight, you can click action item. And so as my client's talking, if I'm like, oh, that's an action item, I hit the button, and then in the transcription, it puts a check mark next to it and then moves it over to my action item site. So it's pretty awesome.
Did that take, like, did you have to train Fathom to like?
It literally just logs into my call, and then I log into the platform, and it's the most simple system you can use too. Like I just got in it and started clicking around. But when it is, I wish I had my laptop down here. When it is, when you're looking at the video content, so it does our morning meetings for us. And it's really funny because we may be talking about something really inappropriate at the end, and it will cut it out. But it will tell you, like, here's what we talked about. And if you're like, oh, on minute 12, we were scripting about something, you can click, it will tell you minute 12, team scripted around for sell by owners and expireds. You can click minute 12 and it will take you just to that section of the training. So it does a lot of stuff, but it also integrates, but I also use it in addition to ChatGPT. The thing I have found is you can save templates inside of ChatGPT, and I could share those with you. So like if Megan became a coach, I could say, hey, here's my coaching template. I upload my transcript into this. I have trained ChatGPT to say, here were my key initiatives. Here were the objections. Here are the action items, and here are the coach's questions for next week. I could share that with her. And so when she pasted her transcription in, it would spit out the same thing I see because that's my template. Yeah. Cool. Any other questions about like Fathom? Again, there are a million things you can use. Fathom is the direct one with Zoom, so it works best with Zoom. And it's really cool because you can like highlight speeches, you can do all that. And then when you log into the actual Fathom platform, you can edit your transcript. Like if something's misspoken or, not written out correctly, you can change it. And it also sends a recap to whoever was on that meeting invite. So they immediately get your coaching call recap or your meeting call recap. And it will say, like, if I'm a part of a mastermind group and I can't make it to the mastermind, my Fathom goes on behalf of me. And then it sends me back the notes that I missed. Okay. Productive AI. This is something I have not actually played with this at a very deep level. And this is on that back page as well. My understanding of this is it's a task management and productivity tool. So you can plug it into your CRM, you could zap it with whatever you're using. And it will listen to all of your calls, transcribe them, add action items. Like our team uses Follow It Boss. So we already have an AI feature built into our CRM that will tell us the recap of the call and, all that good stuff. But say you're not using something like that, a CRM like Command, if you're not utilizing and paying for the extra phone service in there, you could hopefully link Productive AI and it would add things to your calendar for you. It would read through your notes, your calls, your conversations, your emails. It basically acts like an internal assistant to you if you're using it, is my understanding. Descript and Opus Pro, two very similar things. Basically, you can record long video content. So I could record this entire class. I could stick it inside of Opus Pro or Descript, and it's going to make me small video clips based upon the subject. So it would probably make me 10 just off of ChatGPT, and it creates captions for you. You can edit them. And I will show you really quick one of those videos. See. Let me do it from my bed. Hi, how are you?
Good, just talking a minute. So here's the training center.
All right, let's find this sucker.
She's thinking that with their ducks and their chickens. Like, these must be some really chickens. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's floating.
All right, so here's what it did. This was like a 5-minute long video that we created, and this, I uploaded it. It took 3 minutes to create this.
We're gonna talk real fast about the 4 strategies of AI hacks for your systems and assistants. We just got done with Mega Camp, and we asked ChatGPT, what are the characteristics of a great DOO? The list is phenomenal. Okay, manage, okay, peak performance. What's this one? Leadership, strategic thinking, organized, problem solving, financials, tech savvy, client experience, adaptability, attention to detail. Hey, it was all there for a job description. And we thought, okay, let's look at this. On that ChatGPT, why not? When you want to know.
So it is 40 seconds long. And it took it out of a 5-minute video, and it created 12 videos for us on the different topics. So we just kept talking, just like this. We had a list of 4 things, and we talked about all 4 things. So that was what it took from just the ChatGPT section. And I mean, it created so many videos, but like you can edit your appearance, and I didn't. I just used that one as an example. I'm not sending that one out to anyone because it's awkward. But when we actually shot the true video to promote Perfect Real Estate Assistant, that's where we took our clips from that we sent out to people. So there's an example. You just upload the whole video. It does all the work for you. And what's really cool is in the system, as it breaks down those videos, it grades you. So it's like opening, engagement, closing, and it'll be like A here, C here. Here's what you need to improve on when you're talking. And then here's how you should better close it. So
Did you use the script or Opus Pro on
that was Opus Pro. I played with Descript yesterday. It seems as if in Descript you can do a little more editing. Like you can change all the coloring, and it's a little harder to figure out how to use, in my opinion. Like for someone like me, I just want instant results. But for someone who actually loves like video editing and content stuff, you would probably really like Descript. They do a lot of the same things. They also will recommend your hashtags, your titles for best engagement. So it does a lot of that heavy lifting for you. Okay. Xavier is not one that I have used, nor have I even looked at it, but it was one that Melinda had written down, so I thought I would include it. It looks like that one's a financial analytics and forecasting. I believe this is the one she said she was going to upload her budget into and have it read through, you know, what it is. I missed that section because I had to leave that day at the Market Center Mastermind, but you could also do that inside of ChatGPT. You could upload your budget. You could tell it about the MREA model, and it would tell you kind of where you're at in your business and your P&L. You could also upload your P&Ls into ChatGPT or something like this and have it study it and see where you're missing something. Goblin tool, I have not used this. It's like an emergency tool if related to real estate, could be used for a specialized function like lead generation or client relationship management. Haven't even opened this one, but I wanted to give that one to you so you could research it on your own time. Fellow is a lead generation and valuation tool, uses AI to assess property values and generate leads through instant offers, improving client acquisition and retention. So think MOFers. We hear a lot about for immediate response. So if you are looking at something like Fellow, it does cost. Think like Ylopo, think homes.com. It's similar to that. It plugs in. And my understanding, I have a client who's using it. We have a call this week so I can see the platform. You basically plug it into your CRM and it will use AI to read who's like ready to list their house, who might be ready to do something. A lot of our CRMs have that built in. But if not, Fellow is a platform you could be using to help lead generate. If you have a pretty big database and you know that there's a bunch of leads in there and you have no idea who they are. Again, we have Follow Up Boss. Follow Up Boss has something called Raya. Raya can, kind of go in and nudge colder leads or old leads, and kind of leverage that for us. So it saves you the cost if you're not ready to hire an ISA or a full-time person. Some of these AI tools can be used pretty well for that. You just have to pay attention to them. They are AI, and so they will make mistakes. They will make some of your clients uncomfortable or mad. So it's just as long as you're paying attention. We had really good results when we were using Raya inside of our CRM. And we also had a few instances where we had to say, hey, we're so sorry about that. It was our AI assistant and whatever, you go on. You smooth it over and it's fine. We didn't ever have anyone who told us to really go kick rocks. It was just like, stop, right? So in that, so those of you using a lot of videos, so the social media stuff, Trey not wanting to do it, but Trey creates a lot of videos. Just how Rachel, she's posted inside of the KWSGF, like her top things for an agent, same thing, like all of her topics. Ask ChatGPT, what does an agent need to hear today about blah, blah, blah. But what she could do is create that whole day of content, drop it into Opus Pro, Descript, something like that. And she could even do smaller sections for like a story, right? So you can say, I want a 15-second snippet. I want a 30-second snippet. Turn it into a reel, turn it into a story. What does it need to look like? Anyone using anything else? Someone mentioned Monday.com on there. Monday's a lot like Airtable. It's a lot like Trello is probably one of the most familiar ones. It's a project management type of tool, but Monday.com does have AI built into it. So that could be another thing if you're looking, if you have your marketing, if you have a lot of marketing stuff going on, utilizing that with ChatGPT to plug into Monday.com to plan your buckets, to plan your tasks. Because it is a project management system, it would automatically create your tasks and stuff for you. Any other tools that you're having success with? Any other ways you're using this? Or thoughts? That's like fire hose. I would go back if I were all of you, because I've been nerding out about this since I got back from Mega Camp, and all the ways, just like the coaching call stuff I said between Fathom and ChatGPT. I just started using that in the last 2 days, and it has improved my calls. It's improved how I've showed up as a coach. It's improved my conversations. And so even though I don't do it right in the moment, it helps me prep for the next call so that the next call is even better than the call before. So if you were to look at that in your one-on-one with your Rainmaker, what if you recorded your meetings, you put it in there and said, what should we be talking about based upon our last call, right? Our team meetings are the same way. It records the whole thing, especially Wednesday's our training day. So putting those training notes inside of there, asking it what else, what documents you're missing, what you could implement. So yesterday we scripted around listings and being really specific on the clients that we're going to focus on. I'm going to take all of that, put it into ChatGPT and ask it how to communicate with these people. I think operationally though, we've talked a lot about how you can leverage your agent's business. My biggest advice is how does this leverage your time as the admin? So you get more time back and you get more organization. So even if you're struggling, like asking it to read your calendar, put your calendar inside of it and say, help me time block my day. This is what I do. This is my top 20%. And have it read that and give that back to you.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm really thinking of using it, because we've been using it for marketing like that and training it and all of that, but I've never really thought about using it to like be more efficient in my own job and asking it how I can be more efficient, or just tossing stuff in there and it doing it for me instead of me like manually doing it. So that's how I'm gonna be using it more. I think it's just trying to save myself more time.
Leverage it, yeah, to that. For sure. We were, I mean, yesterday Paige and I were rewriting some of our listing management touches and even just, you know, what we put on our handwritten cards, popping it into ChatGPT. And it was a little too fluffy, so we could have done better in asking the question on tonality, or what we wanted to see. But just those little things, like pop your email templates in there, pop your checklist in there. There was a team there that said, here is my listing checklist. It told it all about the clients they were servicing, what they were hoping to get, and it said, what am I missing? And it put in some really great, so like if the goal was to create a higher level of customer experience where a customer becomes a client for life, if you use those words, it's gonna tell you how to be more relational instead of tasky.
I haven't done it yet, but I think it could also be helpful for
You're
like
fine, come on in.
our introduction calls.
Yeah.
Because we worked on that yesterday.
Your intro
so-
scripts, congratulations, you're under contract, congratulations, we're so excited to work with you on our new listing.
Just because sometimes I feel like I forget something, so I think it'll be helpful in making sure you cover everything on the first phone call.
Yeah, upload your script and say, can you turn this into a conversation agenda? So that it just maybe gives you the keywords and then you could write in from there. Upload your events into there. Do you have an event playbook? Yeah. What could you be doing that you're not doing? How soon should you start communicating with these people? What should you send out prior to the event to get more RSVPs? What should your graphics look like to capture more attention?
How can I get 10 referrals at this event?
How could I utilize this event with 75 people to get 25 referrals? Well, all right, to honor your time, it's 9:58. Any other questions, thoughts? Comments? We're good? Next, admin mastermind, is there anything you guys want to hear about? Is there anything pressing? I definitely want to hear results, so make sure you actually go play with this stuff. But topic ideas? No? Okay, think about it. I don't know how to shut off this recording, so I'm gonna let you do it.
Yeah.
Can you
Give me just a second. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. No, right now.
For where?
It was.
Okay, there's some- I don't know.